what I do know is this hair laid. Yes. Hey everybody. What I'm about to show you is how I apply my lace frontal wigs for the week. I normally, if I apply them like this, I will sleep in them. But if I just am throwing it on my head, taking it off, then I'll just put it on any old kind of way. So, the first thing that you'll need is your got-to-be glued. I know a lot of people use this to glue their wigs down, but I find that, and I don't know if it's just because I live in Texas, but I find that this will only stick on my head for about a good day, maybe two, maybe, you know. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just using the glue. The gel. I need to go and get the hairspray. So I was like, okay, got the hairspray. It held it down a little bit longer, but baby, it's hot in Texas, so your girl sweats. And when you sweat, I don't know, it just be popping up and sliding back and doing all that, and I just don't have time for that. So I am going to use this for something, but not necessarily to glue the wig down by itself, solo dolo. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open this and put some on my scalp. Well, how I prep my hair, matter of fact, is I have it in two plaits. I just washed it and then I slicked my edges down, put it in the two plaits, and I tied it down. That's it. So that's how I prep my hair for this. So I'll put the got-to-be glued on my edge, like on my forehead, like right where my edges stop. I will put that there. And it is just gel, so if it gets on your edges, it's not really a big deal. Whatever. Sometimes I will actually use this to slick my edges down. Today I used edge control. Like right there, I'm just gonna go ahead and get that in there. I have tried to use lace frontal glue, but honey, that had me scared for my life, because I'm like, is my edges, like my edges is already scarce. Like, is my edges gonna come out? The edges that I do got, I don't have time. So I literally just I tried it twice, and I actually did not pull out my edges, but it was just, I was scared. So it's like, forget that, bump that. And I still got the whole tube, really haven't used it. So with that, I'm going to blow dry this on cool for a minute so that I can kind of get it a little tacky before I go to the next step. So you want to make sure that you have it on the cool setting. Okay, so the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take your wig caps. Here, I got the ones in nude. And you are going to put it on your head. So I'm gonna start from the back, and I'm gonna put it over my ears. I'm gonna put it over. Took my hair at the back. Ow. I don't know what the heck that was, but it hurt. Make sure the hair is tucked at the back. Over your ears. That's how you want to do this. Make sure it's done. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put another layer of this on top. And then we're gonna go back in with the blow dryer. I'm sorry, if I'm looking over here, it's because obviously I'm in the bathroom and I'm looking at the mirror. We're gonna put it back on the cool setting, and then we're gonna blow dry some. Once it's dry, I'm gonna take my little shears. These actually came from Sally's. They were like the $20 shears, but I mean, I'm not a professional or anything, so any scissors will do, I'm sure, but I'm just gonna use these because these are the ones that I have in my bathroom. So I'm gonna take my shears and I'm just gonna cut around where I glued the cap. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm just going to try on my wig to see like if I need to cut this back some more or like really what I need to do. I washed my wig. So it's inside of this towel. Yes, it's still wet, but it's going to be easier for me to try to style it on my head when it's wet and not dry. So that works out perfectly for me. But you do yours however you want to do yours. Let's see. Okay. So, trying to see if this is down far enough, down too much, and I think it actually might be perfect. All the lace is technically covering the the cap. Even though you can see it through there, we're gonna fix that. So I don't need to take it back any further. Now I can take the wig off. Be careful when you're taking it off to make sure you try to pull it. You try to pull it forward so that you don't pull it backwards and take the cap off. The next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to take the second cap that's inside of the packaging and I'm going to put it on top of this one. The reason why I'm doing that, I'm not going to bring it all the way down, but the reason why I'm doing that is, again, as I mentioned before, I stay in Texas, so that got to be glued is only going to hold for so long. It'll hold this a little bit longer than it will just the wig because it's not as heavy, but at the same time in the front there is no elastic holding on my cap, so I want to try to keep it do all the reinforcements that I can to keep it in place. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the second cap on, but I'm not bringing it all the way to the edge, so when I put my wig on, like, it's super duper flat right here because it's super duper flat on my head. What I'm gonna do next is I'm going to rinse some water, and take my beauty blender and some foundation. Get it on my hand a little bit, and I'm gonna cover the parts of the wig that will be underneath the frontal. Be careful when you're doing this, but the part of the wig that'll be underneath the frontal, I'm gonna cover that up to make it lighter, to make it actually seem like, okay, it's not too light underneath my skin, because my scalp is not this color. So it looks kind of strange if you it looks kind of strange if you just leave it underneath there like that. It looks weird. So you want to try to cover up, and you don't have to do the whole frontal area, because I mean, you might only like to wear your frontal one specific way. So of course it'll take less time if you just put the makeup where you wear your frontal. I really wouldn't suggest you using like your favorite foundation or whatever, but like a cheaper foundation would do, because it's so light that it will show regardless. Like I've used powder foundations before. Like it's gonna show, and it doesn't have to be neat, because it's gonna be up underneath something, you know. And the foundation you actually get on your skin, you can just wipe that off before you put your wig on. Even if you had got like a foundation that was almost your color, or you just don't like it on your skin, it makes you too oily or whatever the case, you don't have to let it go to waste, because you can just do this and use that specific foundation for this, and you won't be wasting your favorite foundation, but neither will you be wasting your money. You just go back as far as the frontal. It's just a little guess. It don't have to be perfect, of course, because it's gonna be covered up. It ain't no big deal. You could just get the brown cap, but what I found with that is it's too dark, like too dark, and so it looks weird up underneath, because then my scalp is darker than my actual skin, and that's a no. Like, who's gonna believe that, you know? So it's pretty much the same thing as when people put foundation or concealer on their closures. Only thing is, this is underneath and not on top. My knots are bleached, so that's gonna be good. And the thing about it is, each cap comes with two. So when I take this off, I can use this one for the, for gluing it down, and then use a new one to cover it up. So each time, it'll be less work, because you don't have to cover up, you don't have to cover up the whole thing. So we're gonna put this frontal on, the wig on. Hair out. Okay. See, now it's a little bit more. I gotta get this hair from up underneath here. You can't really tell. I mean, I still need to do some adjusting, but you can't really tell that I have on a cap underneath here. Sorry. I really don't want to brush this. Where's my, drop my comb. But you can't really tell that I have on a frontal over here. Like, I probably need to hit this little piece a little bit more because it's a little white, but outside of that, like the rest of it, you can't tell because it matches my skin perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I need to flip this back. I'm going to go through with my shears again, try to get a little closer, cut the excess. No. Okay, let's see if we can cover that up. And that is pretty much the pre-prep to how I lay my frontal down. And I mean, if I was to part it in the middle, it looks the same everywhere. It looks, you know, pretty believable as to me having some scalp underneath here and not just a nude cap. And that is how I lay, well, I prep underneath to lay my frontal down. So now, let's get some mousse. Because now we want to kind of, I don't want no big swoopy doopy baby hairs that's, you know, but I want a little bit to where when my hair is flying backwards or whatever it decides it wants to do, that little, it's still a tiny line of demarcation, but it's not as noticeable. So I kind of want to use the baby hairs to cover that little line of demarcation, as well as kind of stick the frontal to my face a little bit, but not too much. When I don't wear a cap underneath, my wigs just slide back, regardless if I have a elastic band or not. They just slide back, slide back, slide back. So I have to wear, me personally, I have to wear a stocking cap, this, so that it stops to like the friction of it from sliding back. So that's one thing that kind of stops it. And the stocking cap isn't going to slide back because sometimes that moves as well. That's not going to slide back now because I have the got to be glued on it. And like I said, because I think it holds a little bit better than it holds this better than it holds the wig, because this is so much lighter. Like there's not so much weight on it, and I'm not, you know, when I'm brushing my hair or whatever the case is, I'm not pulling on it and doing all sorts of things to it. So it holds the stocking cap a little bit better. That's the only thing it has to worry about holding. And so that's why I think it holds that a lot better than the hair. So like I said, what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to try to cover the little bit of demarcation I have now from you just being able to tell that this is a wig. So we're going to cover that. So my camera cut off and I did not know, but last thing I did was put the mousse on here because I don't know where it cut off at. But the last thing I did was put the mousse on my hair. I'm kind of like combing it to make it go where I want it to go. Yes, it is still wet, but I like it like that so I can kind of like style it better. I have not did any type of baby hairs or anything right here in the front, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because I mean it looks all right to me. As far as this side, I'm not even gonna, I mean, it'll come up or whatever, but if I just lay the baby hairs down, then it should be fine. I might go ahead and just do it, but I don't foresee myself doing any style before I have to wash it again and flipping it to the side or doing anything like that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do it just for the sake of the video. So I'll just flip this over again. This is what we just did. We laid this down, but when we lay our little baby hair down, like kind of on our skin or whatever, you won't even be able to see that we did any of that. So I'm gonna get a little got to be glued. Well, actually, we're gonna get a little mousse. We're gonna stick it on our, stick it on our hair. We don't want to get it on too much. I mean, we don't want to get the got to be glued on too much hair. The mousse, I mean, you know, that's a lighter, something lighter. It'll still, you know, make it kind of hard, but I can comb through it and be okay. But when you get the got to be glued on this, definitely a whole different story. So now that we kind of comb some of the hair down, we're gonna get the got to be glued, just like a little dot like that. It's all I have. And then we are gonna make sure we get it on these edge hairs. Right here, that's way too high. So yeah, we're gonna make sure we get it on the edge hairs. Edge hairs. Anyway, brush it. We're not going for a uniform or perfect swoops or nothing like that. We just want it to be laid. And like I said, nobody is probably even gonna see this side, so I'm not even really just like putting that much effort like I probably should be. But I doubt that I'm going to do anything to this side, so we just gonna go like that and get those baby hairs popping. I can put this behind my ear. That part, there we go. I don't know, but you get the gist of it. Like, you do your baby hairs how you want to do your baby hairs. Lay them how you like to lay them, and they're gonna be all right. As far as lines, this is how I like to lay mine, and I'll just let it air dry. This is still the Alley Pearl hair that I did a review on. Should be my previous video. I'm going to do my final thoughts on this video. I did an unboxing on this hair, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do my final thoughts on this video. It's probably gonna be the next video, but we'll see. And yeah, so I have in a 18-inch frontal and 2 3/4 of 2 3/4 20-inch bundles. And yeah, this was the Brazilian straight. Although of course I just washed it, and you see it kind of like has a wave. When it dries, it still has that wave, which at first I was kind of shocked. I was like, what? But that's for a whole nother video. But I just wanted to show you guys how I get my frontals to sit on my head and lay and look very, 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 very natural. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those down below. Feel free to drop those down below, and make sure you follow me on Instagram at TheShayThatSlays, and on Snapchat TheShayThatSlay, no S. And you guys have a great day.